Beginning mass layoffs of federal workers impacting multiple agencies. Tens of thousands of employees are expected to lose their jobs. Our senior political correspondent, Rachel Scott, is tracking the latest from the White House. Good morning, Rachel.
Rebecca, good morning to you. And federal workers who did not resign as part of that buyout offer were warned that they could possibly be laid off or fired. And this morning, we are learning that mass layoffs have started across multiple federal agencies. Musk sitting down with Indian Prime Minister Modi Thursday before he met with President Trump. The president unsure of the capacity of Musk's meeting and whether Musk was acting as a private citizen wanting to do business in India or a member of the administration.
I would imagine he met possibly because he's running the company.
Trump pushed on how foreign leaders knew the difference.
Well, he's meeting with me in a little while, so I'm going to ask him that question.
He's like, I'm the head of state, and I'm here to do business too. I personally basically like the reverse of Elon Musk, Someone who was elected as the head of state, who also wants to do business deals. He's someone who is a businessman who's doing head of state stuff to basically do business deals. We're two sides of the same coin, It's cool. The way media is just reported these mass layoffs is absurd. The firings are illegal. You can't just mass terminate federal employees without cause, even if they're probationary. Even if they're probationary, people are losing their health care and lives are being torn apart. It's so upsetting. Yeah, 23% underemployment statistic that we looked at yesterday. 23% of the current existing workforce is either doing part-time jobs or basically makes less than $25,000, which is a poverty wage. Now, remember, the reminder is that obviously the people that are currently being fired are not exactly kicked up, but they at least have decent jobs in comparison to the people making $25,000 a year. And we're firing them by the tens of thousands as well. Not only is this firing process unimaginably cruel, it's also not done for good reason, and it will lead to a lot of these services that people rely on that they don't even realize that they rely on to go away, to be crippled. Of course, saying that this is illegal is virtually inconsequential in this process because what are you going to do about it is basically the attitude that is in this administration over and over again. A lot of people also don't understand that the federal government in and of itself does have a bunch of jobs that are just simply good to have, right? Not every single person is dealing with issues in the most efficient way possible, but it doesn't matter. It's not supposed to be that way. Jobs are given to people in many instances, whether it's the federal government or even in private enterprise, not because you have to have this many people working on this job, but sometimes jobs are given to people because it's good to have jobs. It's good to keep layoffs. Most of the jobs that were previously done by 5 people, 6 people are now being done by one person. Every single person on the job site is especially if you're working for somebody else. The question is, I guess, if you want to have this conversation with conservatives, you can have it on the basis of because they were genuinely fearful of artificial intelligence and self-driving cars taking away the key parts of the trucking sector, right? They were truly worried about that. And the question remains, if AI and self-driving cars are going to eradicate the trucking sector, is that the best possible thing when we're moving forward? Should there not still be someone that sits on top of that truck, even if the structure that exists? I mean, this ridiculous positions. There's always like an old person that covers like 4 sides of any sort of construction where they're just sitting there with a one stick in their hands going like this all day, every day. Why does that guy do that? Now, obviously, he's too old to be doing that to begin with, and it's crazy that he's still working. Why does that guy do that job? Could that job be relegated to I don't know, a automated light stick? Probably, definitely. It's not necessarily just because of safety matters. A big part of why these jobs exist is so that there is money to be given to these people so they can make a honest living. People don't understand that. I agree that maximizing efficiency is bad for working conditions, but framing this I'm going to give people money into the right rhetoric when talking to conservatives about this. No, I'm not simply talking about this from the perspective of these jobs that need to exist so that people get paid. I'm simply like the concept of why jobs exist to begin with in certain sectors. Okay? In order for a society to be healthy and to function, you gotta get people jobs. Okay? You gotta make sure that they're fulfilling a full-time duty. Okay? We need that. We need that more than anything else. But on top of that, a lot of these jobs being eliminated right now are profoundly important anyway. And the consequence of eliminating these jobs and these mass layoffs is only going to be seen further down the line. A probationary employee that took the fork offer and still got fired late last night by email. If you're like me, you can still file an appeal with the MSPB for wrongful termination, even if you're probationary. Making things more efficient and cutting worthless jobs is inherently bad for how the surplus reduces allocated. Yeah, except it is inherently bad. The proper process in this circumstance is not to further people. Let's say technological efficiency has made it so this work done a decade prior in literally 2 hours, okay? A decade ago, you did the same thing in 8 hours. Now you can do it in 2 hours. What is supposed to happen in a normal society, in an evolved society, is that you still get paid the same amount of money, okay, and you work 2 hours instead of the 8. But what obviously capital owners want to do in that process is fire all of the additional employees and make sure that 1 or 2 people are now tasked with this because they can do the entire workday's workload in 12 hours. Of day-to-day work, okay? It's not supposed to be utilized in a way to offset the existing labor force. It's not supposed to be utilized in a way where you're engaging in mass jobs. That is what's so silly about this conversation. And many Americans who are primed to believe that capitalism is good, ironically, fight away their own friends. They don't realize it's like, no, we have to be super invested in efficiency. It's like it's okay to have efficiency at the job site. But what you fail to comprehend is that efficiency is not supposed to displace you. That efficiency is supposed to reduce your burden. It's supposed to reduce your workload, not actually keep your workload the exact same, but your output is X because of technological advancements. That's the major problem. I think in this day and age, with AI becoming in conversation at the forefront of what will happen in the next step with labor, which is, I guess I would consider it like the next industrial revolution, a lot of people who are so brain broken by capitalism being the only game in town, so fearful of the alternatives, have refused to reckon with what will happen once so much of the workforce is displaced. A Raleigh style stuff is that your only purpose in life is to become a part of the consumption engine, and then those who are not a part of that consumption engine are working behind that that the utopian future that technology